Welcome to the MarcWes Sport Podcast.
They are going to eat as long as they got them players playing like Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, who's, from down here in Monarch High School on Coconut Creek. As long as those two players are playing, that team is going to eat. They don't really have a running game right now because, Todd Gurley is not that player, which is kind of weird because I'm like, why did Todd Gurley fall so far so quickly? He was, an MVP candidate with the Rams, when they, were on that championship
knees,
run.
That's why.
But now, he's in Atlanta. He's not really doing a lot of stats.
His knees.
As far as what he used to. But that's what happens to running backs and NFL players in this league. It's not for long. That's what it stands for in the NFL.
The same thing that there was a problem with
That's
Jay
why
Ajayi.
players have been doing it for a long time, like Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson is still out here playing.
That's the same thing, though. Like, you talking about Todd Gurley, and Todd Gurley, he's not putting the numbers that he normally put up is because before he got drafted, he had problem with his knees. So he still have them same problems. So that's why he's not putting them numbers up. You could rehab and look like the same person, but you ain't the same person because your knees is shaky. He's just like Jay Ajayi. I mean, you're a Dolphin fan. You was born and raised in Dade County, and you know what it is. Ajayi, his knees was shaky. That's why we traded him, even though I fucked with him. But me personally, I think Atlanta Falcons is just one of them teams like the Lions, one of them teams like the Jaguars, one of them teams like Tampa Bay, like one of them teams like Cleveland Brown that always find a way to lose. I don't want to put the Dolphins in there, but the Dolphins also one of them teams that always find a way to lose. I don't think that it's the team that we have right now, though. I think that we're building and, things are going upward. But, again, Atlanta Falcons is one of them teams that is not regarded in the NFL as one of these elite great teams statistically wise or championship wise. So I'm going to go on Green Bay because remember in my earlier segment, I felt like Aaron Rodgers was behind Dan Marino, as one of these great quarterbacks. And he's doing exactly what I've been saying that he's been doing. He's doing his thing without his number one wide receiver in the lineup. So I think it's just going to be another mini hurdle for Green Bay Packers. They're just going to show up. They're going to win. I know Marcus said that it's going to be a close game, but I doubt it.
It's going to be a shootout.
It's going to be a shootout.
May not be a close game, but
early it's going to be a shootout.
Bet the over.
But again, early in the shootout. But again, when it comes to the third and the fourth quarter,
shootouts are similar to Wild West.
I think that the gas that's in your engine is going to give way. And I know you got Julio, and I know you got your quarterback in Atlanta, but for some reason, I don't know if you got a curse, but you always find a way to lose, like the Detroits, like the Clevelands, like the Jaguars.
Yeah,
y'all just one of these teams. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I'm gonna go with Green Bay. If it's a shootout, 42-35. If it's a blowout, 32-21.
All right. Unfortunately, Patriots and Chiefs has been postponed because of Cam Newton having COVID, but that would have been a great game to pick. But we could pick it anyway. Patriots and Chiefs. That would have been a really great game to see. Patrick Mahomes is by far and away to me. Well, I wouldn't say by far and away because Russell Wilson is also a bad boy. But to me, he's in line to win the next MVP, especially since he beat Lamar Jackson in that last game, head to head. So the Chiefs are a team that actually usually beats the Patriots when they had Tom Brady, or actually gave them a game. So without them, I just think the Chiefs definitely would win if that game was even planned. So we just go to another game. Or who you would think would win that game? Patriots and the Chiefs.
Oh, man. The Patriots and the Chiefs, like, if you had Cam Newton, really, I would.
Nah, they're not playing the game. The game's postponed.
I know it's
So
postponed.
they're just going to play at a different time.
I
Just not this week.
I would pick New England because they're cheaters. One.
So we back on that shit.
Before I go on anything else, they're cheaters. Number one.
Just in case you forgot.
Secondly, even though Andy Reid scores a lot on Bill Belichick, he lose. No matter what it is, he found a way to lose again. But remember, they cheat. So I'm not sure if they're going to find a way to cheat if they're in Kansas City. Where they playing in New England or Kansas City? If they did play where they was supposed to be playing, would they be playing in Kansas City? If they're playing in Kansas City, then I think New England will still find a way to win because Bill Belichick, even though he cheat, I still think he's one of the best coaches in the game. But again, cheating comes with you knowing what the other guy is doing in signals. So, I don't really know. But I know Andy Reid is one of the great minds in the NFL. I know he always throws up numbers. Even when you had Donovan McNabb throwing up in the huddle like Terrell Owens been saying, you find a way to score. You found a way to lose because, Donovan McNabb, again, was throwing up in the huddle. If something happened, if something pop off, I want my homeboy ready to be right next to me to do whatever. But Donovan McNabb was throwing up. So, I think that's the reason why Andy Reid took a long time to even get a championship ring. But that's another story. But going back to the game, I think if it was head up, if it was in New England,
it doesn't matter where they are anyway because there's no
if
fans.
If it was in New England, Bill Belichick was gonna cheat regardless of the fact if there's with fans or without the fans. He's gonna find a way to turn off the AC in their locker room or something. Record them, something.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But
ain't no fans.
I think that
don't know, man.
New England will win regardless. I think New England will win regardless of the fact. I think New England will win if they had Tom Brady, and I think that they have a better chance at beating Kansas City because they got Cam Newton. I mean, my whole thing with Cam Newton was he wasn't accurate, but right now, from the plays that the New England Patriots are designing for him and his wide receivers, he's accurate. So, I know he's a beast like LeBron. He's a freak of nature, one. Two, he runs. If he was accurate, he would be like one of the greatest of all time. And right now, him being with New England, he's accurate. I don't know if it's because of the COVID, because in the NBA, garbage players like Rondo.
I think it's just a better system that he's playing over there with their offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels.
It's a better organization.
He's one of the
Kansas
better
City normally was known for being like the Lions also. I mean, but again, you got a great quarterback. I think Patrick Mahomes is great.
So who you picking on that game?
New England.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I'm picking New England regardless.
But all right, yeah, I'll pick the Chiefs on that one.
I would have picked the Chiefs.
Next game would be Texans and the Vikings. All right, so I think the Texans finally should get a victory here. Deshaun Watson is that player that needs a win. Are they both winless at this point? Yeah, they are both winless at this point. So, both of these teams made the playoffs last year. So, how did they fall so far? So, I think Texans should definitely finally get a win. I think they should have won the last game against Pittsburgh. Just Deshaun Watson made a play that you shouldn't make, which is throwing a ball across the middle while you're rolling out. You should have just thrown the ball away or run out of bounds. He tried to make a play. They got an interception from that point. Pittsburgh pretty much took over. So I think if he just eliminates the mistakes, the Texans should be able to win this game. They just need a better running game from their player. What I can't understand is how are you going to trade away one of the best wide receivers in this league in DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona in exchange for David Johnson. Johnson had a really great season that 1 year, but seems to me that he is kind of a one-time wonder. So you let go of your best receiver. Now, Deshaun Watson is a great player, and he can make plays, but, like, he's going to need more if they really want to go deep as a playoff team, you know, because you can't do it by yourself. Like, even in football, Lamar Jackson found that out, last game. The Texans. I feel like the Texans are going to win with Deshaun Watson, making plays, make just enough plays to win the game over Kirk Cousins, who's usually good for an interception or two. Kirk Cousins, I still don't believe in. He's, to me, the most, as far as money he's being paid, I feel like he's the worst investment of all time. Kirk Cousins. As much as he's getting paid right now, I don't know how much he's getting paid, but look it up, though, if you can. I feel like for the money he's getting paid, I think he's the worst investment of all time. Besides, like, Bobby Bonilla, which I think is, like, still getting paid. He's been retired for, like, years, and he's still getting paid by the Mets.
But they desperate, though. That's why they paying that money. You got to understand, like, you got these organizations, like, they want to win. They're going to pay the money for certain players that don't deserve the money or, did something good 1 year prior and they thinking that it's consistent. But technically, if you look at their whole career, like, they technically been garbage or below average majority of the time. So
who you like in that game, though? The Texans or the Vikings?
The Texans and the Vikings. The Vikings got good defense. I'm going to pick the Vikings. I think Deshaun Jackson is a great quarterback. That's why I really want to say Houston Texans. But me right now, the Dolphins have their first-round pick of next year. So I'm really, really hoping that they lose anyway, even though that their quarterback is probably going to be one of the elite quarterbacks. He can scramble. He can make the throws. But that organization is dysfunctional. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. Yeah. They're trading away everybody. They traded their number one receiver to Arizona Cardinals, and he's balling with Kyler Murray right now. So when it comes to the Houston Texans right now, I don't know. In the media, they're not putting out that much information about, the dysfunction in the organization. They're, putting the quarterback in that fire. He's getting rid of people. But because there's so much dysfunction, I'm thinking they're going to lose. If it wasn't no dysfunction in their team, I would have probably gave them the win because of the quarterback, because of J.J. Watt, because of just what the Houston Texans do. They're not a great team, but they're not a garbage team. They're a little bit better than an average team. So, you can go either way, win or loss on whoever they're actually playing on the week. But I think they're going to lose just because of the dysfunction. I think Minnesota has a great defense. They signed a running back, and the running back has always been great in Minnesota. So not knowing that much about Minnesota right now because it's Minnesota. Who watches Minnesota? I don't care about them. But I'm just going to give them that win because.
Yeah, what's the score on that?
Minnesota versus Houston Texans. I'll put 28-21 or 28-25. Minnesota with the victory.
I'm going Texans 35, 29. But yeah, the only reason why you'd probably want to watch Minnesota is because of Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin Cook is one of them boys comes from down here, Miami Central. So I'm just going to talk a little bit just about high school football, just to talk about the best high school football here in South Florida, because as far as the top 5 teams, I'm just going to run through those as far as my top 5 teams. Now, at number 5, I put American Heritage.